So my research question is, what methods can be used to improve the education system in Nicaragua? My hypothesis is composed of three main ideas for improvement. The first one is to motivate teachers. Teachers are highly unprepared in Nicaragua, and teaching is an undesirable job due to its low salary. Increasing benefits and salary of teachers, taking an example from countries like Singapore or Sweden, will lead more capable individuals to take these jobs. The second of my ideas for improvement is to reduce corruption and allocate money more efficiently. The government controls most resources destined towards the Ministry of Education, including those donated by foreign governments. Often these resources don't make it to where they should go because greedy politicians prefer to take the money for themselves. The final idea for improvement is to motivate the parents to send their children to school. Having perfect schools and teachers is useless if people will not attend them. Proving to the population that going to school has more benefits than not doing so or working will lead students and parents to be motivated to attend. So why did I pick this research question? First off, I compare Holland to Nicaragua. Since I used to live in Holland, I can't help but do so. Holland has an efficient and well-organized education system with good motivated teachers and great quality schools and classes, while Nicaragua is poorly organized and with low quality infrastructure and personnel. Second of all, I want my country to develop and become better than it is, like any other person would. I think that a good education system is the basis for a developed society, and I'm certain that if the children I see daily on the streets are motivated to move to schools, many lives will be improved, and in turn, those lives will improve the country itself. So, some background information. Nicaragua is the second poorest country in Latin America, while actually being the largest one geographically wise. The other country that is poorer is Haiti, which has been through earthquakes and a dictatorship not long ago. Second of all, 65% of the population of Nicaragua is under 25 years old, which shows how important it is to educate these people. Primary education in Nicaragua is free and compulsory, but unfortunately the government does not really enforce this. Children just walk on the streets and do not go to school because often they have to work out of necessity. Families cannot maintain their children if they do not carry their own weight. Under the Somoza dictatorship, Nicaraguan education was thrown aside to make way for other political issues. When the Somoza regime was overthrown by the Sandinistas, the new government built more schools and promoted a nationwide literacy campaign, as well as doubling the budget dedicated to the educational system. Still, this has not been enough. So I selected several people that I thought were interesting and at the same time credible regarding the education issues in Nicaragua. First of all, Professors Amy Damon and Paul Glue are both economics professors at the University of Minnesota, and they have researched methods for improving education oriented toward Latin America, taking into account mainly the economic implications and the costs and benefits of different strategies that could improve education. Second of all, one of my sources is the ex-Minister of Education, Miguel de Castilla. He was deposed by President Ortega a couple of years ago because he criticized the negligence in the national budget for the educational system. Third of all, Ana Santiago is a woman that works at the Inter-American Development Bank, and she has researched methods of improving education in Latin America similarly to the first authors I mentioned. She includes a lot of observations in her research from other important members of the American Inter-Development Bank, which is oriented towards development of Latin America. Finally, the last two authors I used were Adrián Verspor and José Ramón Laguna, both expert economists and education specialists at the World Bank. Verspor has written a book about pathways toward improving education in developing countries, springing from his experience in African countries and backed by data from the World Bank. Lagunas tackles Nicaragua specifically and analyzes the availability and the quality of its education. Also, I used several institutions as my sources. First of all, I used UNICEF and its statistics because it's one of the most accurate sources to find data about developing countries. With this data, I think I can relate Nicaragua's economic growth, birth rates, and other factors with its literacy rates, education system, and school attendance rates. Second of all, I used the Nicaraguan Ministry of Education because, of course, since the whole research project is about Nicaraguan education, I think it's a necessary source. It's the main institution that governs the Nicaraguan education, and therefore I think its methods must be analyzed to see what it does right and what it does wrong. Finally, I also included La Prensa and El Nuevo Diario, which are the two biggest newspapers in Nicaragua. They may be partial, but at the same time, education is a hotly debated topic in them, and I think they present opposing views that might give insight and provide me with a better frame to fit my ideas in. So why do I think this is all important? Well, first of all, I think education is the basis for a well-oiled society. Second of all, of course, the new generations are the country's future. Also, I thought that there's not much research that has been done about education in Nicaragua. Mostly, there's been research about Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, other countries like that. But since I'm from Nicaragua, I decided to focus on my own country. Finally, I think that other developing countries, similar to Nicaragua, could gain insight as to what methods to use to improve their own educational system. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.